All right, very good evening to you. It's Late Night Talk. Great to know you're there with us tonight. The narration on the post says it all about what we're talking about tonight. My name is Kofi Bartels. I'm happy that you can join us from wherever it is you are watching right now. Late Night Talk today is looking at the situation in Bonny local government area of River State as far as COVID-19 is concerned. The governor of River State on Saturday had informed residents of the whole state and indeed the entire world that on Sunday, less than 24 hours from the time the announcement was made, that Bonny local government area will be locked down. We have a guest on the program tonight. He is a former youth leader of Bonny local government area. I'm talking about not other than a lawyer and, of course, someone who is not just a youth leader, but a leader in all ramifications. I'm talking about Mr. Simeon Wilcox, whom I'd like to welcome tonight on the program, all the way from his home. Mr. Wilcox, good evening to you. Great to know you're there, and thanks for joining us on the program a bit. Can you please shift a bit to your right? Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay. I've been getting some, some complaints from people, and I don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste your. So I've been getting some complaints from residents of Bonny local government area regarding some things that they are going through and facing, as far as the lockdown is concerned. How has it been for your people? Okay. Mhm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay. The cost of living. Okay. 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 That's even before this current lockdown. Wow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow. Mm-hmm.
Unity local government at a point, or Obiakpo particularly, and Port Harcourt City.
Faga, yes, indeed.
And but yes, and other local governments, were in between and right. They stopped working in Bonny 3 months ago. There was nobody going to work. Okay, no one going to work except for essential workers as prescribed by the COVID-19 protocol.
Okay.
But then, now that they just started working, some 3 weeks ago, few of them have been called back to work. You now have this official shutdown now.
Mm-hmm.
So I am trying to mix in my mind to know how these people are going 2 months plus money on them. Okay. Somewhat I would say I would say thank you to the governor for the first palliative I saw them sharing on the island to people. But I mean, even that is not enough. It's not enough. Right now, you have a lockdown where the lockdown was announced on a Saturday for a Sunday, where there were no markets open, where people cannot get consumables to stock up their houses with. So now you see the difficulty in this. They don't have money to purchase. They don't have, even those that have a little here and there, they didn't have the opportunity of time, of notice to be able to stock up their houses. So the lockdown, according to someone I spoke with this morning, is in 2 ways. One, they are struggling for COVID-19, and the other is COVID hunger.
And this is not too different from what the rest of us in Port Harcourt and Obiakpo faced. Okay. All right. So let's, before we go over to what they're facing right now, we kept hearing certain things from, reports from Bonny Island about people dying. Some say 13 people died in a day. Some say, 17 people died in a day. What was happening, and how bad was it that necessitated this lockdown? And do you think the lockdown was even necessary in the first place? But let's start with what the situation was like.
Okay, so Kofi, you know how these things work. Bonny is part of Nigeria, obviously. And like I said earlier on, Bonny is even more susceptible to most. Bonny is like Lagos. When you fly Lagos and Abuja, mainly, majority of the flights have their first stops here in Lagos and Abuja. Okay? So if we were to look at it in that light, you will see that COVID-19 it was something that caught Nigeria, and Bonny is part of Nigeria. Plus the disadvantage of having been the first stop for vessels. Okay. So that's part of it. Then on the second thought, you have I read up something that really taught me something. There's a lot of gas flare in Bonny. That's a given. Gas flare.
Okay.
A lot of, and one of the multinationals even fled gas, released a particular kind of chemical that, if you remember a few months ago, there were a lot of fishes and a whale was washed ashore, Bonny and all that. And so these things have a way of weakening the immune system. And that's the truth. So even if you had COVID-19 in Bonny, you have another factor playing against them, and that is that their immune system, most of them, they were already weakened. And so you have a combination of factors here. Yes, COVID-19 cases have been confirmed in Bonny, and that is a given. We shouldn't live in denial. That is the truth. But there are other factors also playing to help weaken the immune system. And so a lot of people were dying. It's in the open. People were dying.
How bad was it? Because what some people know, okay, we hear that these people are dying, but we just read about it from the pages of papers. Because some people just feel they don't yet know, especially those in Port Harcourt, the difficulty of the situation that those in Bonny faced. How bad was it?
Okay, so you have other to play with most of them. I always call my place the Las Vegas of River States, or the Las Vegas of Nigeria. Okay. And that means that whatever happens there stays there. Okay, so it's hard to bring issues into Port Harcourt or into the limelight. Drugs. Bonny is one of those places in River State where you have the highest sale of fake drugs.
Fake drugs.
Okay. Fake drugs.
Why?
Fake drugs.
How come?
How many government agencies are there to actually supervise these things? That's why I say it's Las Vegas. Whatever. I know as a youth leader, there was a time I went from chemist to chemist. That is not the work of a youth leader, but I had to do it because it was necessary at the point. I had to move from chemist when this incident of Kai was killing people. And all that. There were people busy doing all sorts of stuff. So we had to go from chemist to chemists to see how we're going to be able to salvage the situation. And we realized that most of those chemists, some of them were not even licensed to operate. And so those kind of chemists can be able to have fake drugs. So you have, on one hand, people complaining of malaria and typhoid, loss of taste, loss of smell, and then you go to a chemist hoping that you'll be able to be fixed with a malaria drug or something, and then they give you fake drugs. And that is part of it. And then this was contributed because a lot of people, I can't give you, Kofi, I can't give you exact figures, but I know that we lost a lot of people. And the thing is, people are still dying. I know that in the last 2 days, I've heard about 4 to 5 deaths already. People are still dying. And like I said earlier on in the last interview I granted, I told them, I said the federal government should, Bonny is the treasure base of, one of the treasure base of this nation. So the federal government should put up an investigative committee to find out what, if this is not just, people hinges on COVID-19 alone. I do not think I'm not denying the fact that COVID-19 is part of this. But I think it's more than COVID-19. If a place...
You think it's more than COVID-19?
No, I think it's more than COVID-19. But I think COVID-19 is playing a part.
Okay.
COVID-19 is playing a part. Kofi, let's ask ourselves, what killed those fishes in our sea, in our river?
Good question.
We should ask what killed that whale that was washed ashore. I'm sure you saw the video.
Absolutely.
Where the natives were running to scoop the flesh of a whale that was washed ashore Bonny River at Finima in one of our communities there. So it's obvious that it's beyond COVID-19. Yes, COVID-19 is there, contributing to the deaths, but there are other factors that we do not have clear answers to.
You're relying on the fact that we had fishes being washed ashore on Bonny Island some months ago, all dead, and recently a whale was found dead on the shores of Bonny Island. Apart from that, are there other things with the people on Bonny Island based on the symptoms or the signs they are showing in terms of their health that is making you say it's more than COVID-19?
Okay, so it's not everybody that died that complained about the symptoms of COVID-19.
Okay.
If we lost 50 persons, I'm not giving you as a statistics, but as an example, if we lost 50 persons, if 20 complained about COVID-19, what about the rest of them that didn't complain about the same symptoms? Some of them just fell down and died. There was no temperature, no difficulty in breathing, just loss of appetite. I can't eat. I feel dizzy. My eyes are turning me, and quite a number of things. So at least the World Health Organization has given us a perimeter to identify what could be COVID-19 or not, and some of them didn't have any of those symptoms, but yet they died. And you can't have a massive number of persons dying in that manner, and then you keep quiet and think that it's just COVID-19. It's beyond COVID-19. If honestly, from my own objective perspective, it's beyond COVID-19. Yes, I say again, COVID-19 is part of this.
Okay. So you're saying that the reason Bonny has come down with this, it's because of the exposure of the island to the oil and gas industry in Nigeria, where people come from abroad and they come straight to Bonny, because we're looking at two. Governor Esom Wike used the word epicenter, and he said Bonny is the epicenter of COVID-19 in River State, and the lockdown was declared in Bonny, which is an oil and gas hub, or a gas hub, and Onne, which is an oil and gas hub. So what would you say about this? And then, in the light of the fact that the governor was making a lot of noise, Governor Wike was making a lot of noise about oil workers being allowed into River State without the government's knowledge, and despite the fact that there was a lockdown, he famously or infamously arrested two helicopter riders of pilots of Caviton helicopter, and a lot of people did not understand him. It was a bit as if he was fighting the federal government. Workers from ExxonMobil came into Port Harcourt from Akwa Ibom State, and they were picked up, and it was a big issue. The aviation minister threatened fire and brimstone. So, do you think that Governor Wike probably it's been vindicated, and we should have looked at this oil and gas industry thing properly then to have averted what we have now?
You know what, Kofi? One of those days, we had this conversation with my group. It's a particular group I belong to. Okay. And I told them, I said, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that we don't know what is happening. I was for the fact that Governor Wike had the courage, honestly, to shut down River State. Okay. I was for that fact. And I loved him for that. And I think somewhat has been vindicated, because if you check the reports that is going to be, if care is not taken, are going towards the epicenter syndrome stuff, you realize that Onne has a lot of similarities with Bonny. Whenever those ships leave Bonny, the next point of call is Onne. So you can see that there is a connection between Bonny and Onne, where I know that one of those oil companies, one of those multinationals, have their isolation, 7 days or 8 days isolation center. Some of those boys that they caught, that the army or the police arrested at a point when the governor was talking, they were on their way to Onne to quarantine for 7 days. So Onne has a spot where they do the quarantining stuff. Okay. So when these guys come into our communities, when they stop at Bonny, if need be, They go to One. They go to One. So the oil and gas sector has, I don't know as to how far the governor can fight this out, because most of these things, most of the powers belong to the federal government. So I don't know how they can be able to fight this. But yeah, I think it's a good fight, to be honest.
Okay.
I think his first priority should be the protection of lives and property. And that's what I think he's doing. Even the closure of Bonny at this point, for me, I think it's eminent. It was something that was supposed to be done.
Okay. So that's in the past. Hello, Mr. Wilcox, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, great. So that's in the past. Now we're here where we are today. The massive. You said we have two issues. We have. But before I go to that, you raised a point where you said it's more than COVID-19. What can be done to ascertain what is going on in Bonny, because the fishes were washed ashore months ago, and it was all over the social media. And I don't think if my memory serves me right, anything was done to investigate what brought the fishes ashore. You've talked about certain gas flaring that has been weakening the immune system of residents of Bonny Island. What do you think can be done to properly find out, or should be done to properly find out what we have on our hands? Because you mentioned the word investigation. I do know that the National Assembly, House of Representatives in particular, had ordered, had recommended and said that there needs to be an urgent investigation into what's happening in Bonny Island. Governor Wike had also said he set up a fact-finding committee to find out what's happening in Bonny Island. Have you heard from any of these bodies a proper, because I've not heard, report being made after all these weeks?
Okay, Kofi, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
You're back.
Oh, yes. Great. So I'm saying, based on what you've said, that, there needs to be an investigation into what's happening in Bonny Island to find out whether it's COVID-19 or more than COVID-19. I heard the National Assembly, particularly the House of Reps, raised a motion ordering for an investigation into the mysterious deaths in Bonny Island. The governor at the time also raised a committee to investigate what was going on in Bonny Island. Have you heard of any report that has come out over the past 3-4 weeks, regarding what's going on in Bonny Island?
Yes, I heard. Nezra.
Okay, that's the Nigerian environmental standards regulatory agency. Yes, okay. A pass mark. Okay. Oh, so go on. Okay. Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. From gas. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. Mm, mm.
One of the multinationals there that swung into action to expand, to build an isolation center. The government has no concern about those things. And then the government shared palliative to all parts of Nigeria. No one palliative from the federal government came to Bonny. Bonny should be a special island. No one palliative came to Bonny from the federal government, where they make a huge sum of their returns from.
It's very shocking, really shocking to hear, that not even a single, bag of pure water has been sent to Bonny Island
From the
from
federal
the federal
government has
government.
been sent to Bonny Island. Even Governor Wike tried.
Mm.
Governor Wike tried at a point. I saw them sharing few things here and there,
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason. But for me, he tried.
It's unfortunate because one of the times when the governor of River State was shouting, making some noise that oil workers are coming into River State and they're going to infect the people of River State with COVID-19, and things need to be done right. What the federal government then was saying was that right now the economy is not good. We need to keep the the economy moving, and even if the other sectors are shut down, that oil and gas needs to keep moving so that at least something will be coming in. And the question Governor Wiki and some other people, and even myself, we discussed on this program was, is the life, the question I asked was, is the life of the people less than the nation's economy? So now we're talking about making money for Nigeria, getting in petrodollars into the country, exporting gas at the expense of the life of the people. So the need to open up the oil and gas sector to foreigners and to people coming in with COVID-19, and the need to protect human beings, the indigents. Which one should be paramount? And now we hear from you, who is an indigent of Bonny, a youth leader, a former youth leader, that the federal government didn't even send anything. Didn't even say, okay, whilst we are trying to keep oil and gas flowing so that we can get money, let us also, put in place measures to protect those who live in these communities, whilst the rest of the country is locked down. So Lagos was locked down. They locked Lagos down. Abuja was locked down. Port Harcourt was locked down. But Bonny Island, because of oil and gas, was opened to the world. And people were coming in from Lagos, coming in from abroad, for oil and gas purposes. And vessels were coming in, I believe. And here we have. So it's pretty, really, really sad. Really, really sad.
You know what, Kofi? The truth is that I don't think you believe that this is new. This has been the treatment of the Niger Delta. It's not a new thing. It's just the continuation of the treatment. Well, Kofi, on your show and other shows that we've been having that are very educative, you've been hearing the Bonny people shout about piracy. The federal government should do something about it. What has been done? Nothing. The federal government is the greatest beneficiary of that Bonny Island. The greatest beneficiary before the state government. The federal government has not given to the people the due attention that the people deserve. And it is not because of COVID-19. It has always been like that.
Maybe they feel that Bonny people are, they are okay. they have money.
Kofi, today alone, I have over, if not 10 persons that have called me, 10 working class boys that at least every month they end up to 180, 190.
Wow.
That have not done anything for 3 months, that are begging for as little as 2,000 naira.
Wow.
As little as 2,000 naira, Kofi.
Wow.
So Bonny, I keep saying Bonny has the richest land with the poorest people. Bonny Island is the richest land with the poorest people, if you ask me. Out of every 10 young Bonny boys you see, only 2 can boast of a regular job.
Wow. That's only
20, 2 can boast of a regular job. Yes. Can boast of a regular job. And most of them, when I mean regular job, most of them are working contract staff status. Contract staff. So where are they okay? Where are they okay? If today my king calls for anybody to bring 10 million naira in Bonny or bring 10 million naira on the ground, nobody will be able to bring any 10 million naira anywhere. Even if anybody tries, the person will be broke.
And we have had, federal government intervention in other parts of the country, in the north. It's quite unfortunate.
And then we are talking about NLNG. They should really get ready, because NLNG 37 they keep talking about, it's not going to be business as usual. You will not come and subdue the people and give them slave jobs and give them slave contracts and expect to succeed like they did the last time, because the people are tired, they are fed up, the people are hungry. People that, if we are so okay, why can someone be begging for 2,000 naira if we are so okay? Just to buy water to drink. One is not as rich. The island is very blessed, and then we have a good king that has a vision that has been able to, build the place to the level it is today. But we need the government, especially the federal government, to support those visions. Bonny should be the display of Nigeria to the world.
Okay.
If the federal government comes in to support Bonny, you see how far Bonny will go.
Okay. I want to thank you very much. My guest tonight is Mr. Simeon Wilcox. He's a lawyer and a former youth president of Bonny local government area. He joins me tonight as guest as we look at the current situation of those who are living in Bonny as we speak. He's made some very important points. And he said, for instance, that apart from the symptoms exhibited by residents, those who've been affected in Bonny Island, tending towards COVID-19, some of them have also exhibited symptoms that are not COVID-19 related. And he feels that as a resident, as an indigenous of Bonny who knows a lot about the local government area, he feels that there's something more than just COVID-19 that is amiss. He says that, proof could be also lie, apart from the symptoms being shown by the residents, in the fact that some months ago, some fishes, a large pool of fish or school of fish was washed ashore on the banks of Bonny. Also, a whale was washed ashore as well, dead, and people of Finima community were feasting on this whale. He's also said the reason we have a high incidence of COVID-19 in Bonny Island is because of a direct access of Bonny to foreigners, people from Lagos and outside Nigeria who are working in the oil and gas industry, who had easy access and direct access to Bonny Island, even though Rivers State was locked down. And he thinks that Governor Wike's cry at the time was justified and has been justified based on what's happening in Bonny Island and even on there, which is another oil and gas hub. He also said that gas flaring has contributed to a weak immune system of those who live in Bonny, and that has made them catch the COVID-19 quicker than maybe other parts of the state. I asked him about the reports or the investigations that were carried out, ordered by the National Assembly, the House of Reps to be precise. And also we had Governor Wike setting up a committee to investigate this. He said that NESRIA, the Nigerian Environmental Standards Regulatory Enforcement Agency, they wrote a report and they were basically praising an oil and gas establishment in the local government area. I do know that Mr. Wilcox, the NCDC, also came around to Bonny to collect samples and to monitor the trend. Okay, okay. What we hear is that people had symptoms like loss of smell, loss of taste, body weakness, stooling, coughing, headache, and fever. Um, the oil and gas companies in Bonny Island paid, or I think is it in River State, paid the governor courtesy visit a couple of weeks ago over this same issue. What do you know about that? Yeah, the whole coronavirus issue.
But for me, Kofi, I think if not for this oil and gas, we crucified the oil and gas industry. Yeah, I mean they've not done what ordinarily we think they should do.
Mhm.
But if not for them, I'm sure most of our communities in River State will have been, wiped out. Like the gas we have right now is not for the industry. The donation of testing equipment
Yeah,
and all that,
yeah.
and all this mainly from even in Bonny, the NLNG, the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas, had to build a makeshift isolation center for Bonny
Yes.
and all that. The government has little or no interest, in Bonny, the most of them had the similar symptom, the loss of taste,
Okay.
and loss of generally they will tell you it's malaria and typhoid.
Okay.
They will tell you it's malaria and typhoid.
Which is the
Loss of
usual.
smell and loss of taste. Yes, which is the usual.
Yeah.
But these are also symptoms of COVID-19.
Okay.
Okay, these are also symptoms of COVID-19. Presently, I do, NCDC should make these facts open at least. Let's know what is happening. I know the NCDC came to Bonny. I know some of them are still in Bonny, taking samples and running tests and all that. Let's be able to know the percentage of people that have the COVID-19, and then let them also the isolation center is in lock and key as I speak to you today.
Wait. Come again, please. I need to get that. What are you saying? So, what did you just say?
The isolation center in Bonny is under lock and key.
The
There is nobody
isolation
there.
center in Bonny,
Yes,
it's under lock and key.
there's nobody there. Yes, there's
Is
nobody
it the
there.
one at the Bonny Zonal Hospital?
Yes, there's nobody there.
That this is about
So,
7 days ago or more. The oil and gas community paid a visit to Governor Wike. We had SPDC, NLNG, and co. They donated items worth about £1 billion to the state. Shell donated 2 world-class testing machines to River State government. And also we're told that they made some donation was made to UPTH, that's what we're going to. And then that they equipped the Bonny Hospital, it's the General Hospital, Zona Hospital, with equipment, and they set up an isolation center there. And you were saying that isolation center is under lock and key.
it's under lock and key. They say they are increasing the bed space and all that. So, but I mean, right now, I don't even know where to put this whole argument, because if you're saying that you're locking down Bonny, what are the measures you're taking in terms of treating the people that already have the COVID-19?
Bro,
Where
sorry,
are you placing these people?
sorry to drag you back. I'm still trying to understand. How can the isolation center be under lock and key when Bonny is been declared by the governor of River State the epicenter of coronavirus in River State? I know they're calling it a holding bay or holding center or whatever. How? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't also make sense to me, but Kofi. But if it was a college, I'm sure some people will have called it from Bonny straight up to tell you that it's under lock and key. It's
I,
under lock and key.
I've-
So I would love.
okay, it seems to. Wilcox, are you there? Okay, are you there, Wilcox? Okay, you're back. Yes. I think it's from your end, but it's fine. Go on. Yeah, US. By the way, the number is available. My number is I put it up on the post, and you can also share it on to those on your network if you want, if you can now before we are done, so they can call.
Okay.
But the number, my MTN line 080-620-99556 is what I'm taking now calls on. So anybody who wants to call can call in and tell us what they think. But yeah, you were saying, my brother. Yeah. So
Hello.
yeah, yes. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, I was saying that I have a phone number that they can call right now, but it depends on whether you can reach your networks or people who are watching would love to call. I've seen one message though, but for those who are watching, please feel free to call 080-620-99556, 080-620-99556. And Wilcox, you were saying something. You were telling me about the whole lockdown of that holding area.
It's not functional as at today.
Holding center, 10-bed holding center.
12 or so.
Yeah.
They are trying to expand it, I hear. But it's not. There's no one there right now.
So where are those who have coronavirus in Bonny Island kept?
So that's what I actually want the government to check, to know. Let's know where they are kept, where they are being treated.
Okay. But the keys were handed over, or the whole place was handed over to the government some days ago, about a week or more ago.
Okay.
That's what I'm reading, that NLNG handed over a 10-bed holding center, which it donated to Bonny Zona Hospital as part of its support to the host community to fight the spread of coronavirus. So this means that it's now the decision of the government of Rivers State or the Ministry of Health or the health authorities at the zonal hospital.
Sure. In fact, Kofi, I will use this opportunity to call on the governor to actually, wade into this, to find out for himself. Because, his first responsibility is the protection of lives and property of the people.
Yes.
And this is the exact reason why he was voted into office. Mm-hmm. And he's done pretty nicely, especially with this COVID-19 stuff. I think he should come down or send maybe the commissioner back to Bonny to find out why that holding center is not functional up to today. He should send. We need. If you're locking down a place, there should be preparations to treat, to hold the number of persons that have been confirmed positive and all that, whether they are mild or serious. It's not functional as of today, and that's the fact. It's not functional.
Okay.
For whatever reason they will give, it's not functional. But yet, Bonny is locked down. So what for me, I think we have even passed the peak of. Some last month, Kofi, last month and some weeks back, it was so prevalent. It was every second you hear this one is dead, that one is dead. Oh man, I'm sick. I can't taste. I can't smell. It has even reduced. I even somewhat. I think the people have started getting immune to it. Okay. They are beginning to build up their immune system to fight the virus. So the lockdown at least should be able to have a purpose. Not just to keep the people at home, but to treat those that have been confirmed positive. And then if there's community spreading going on, you employ your tracing techniques to be able to trace the people that have been, that have the virus and see how you can treat them. So, but as of today, I don't know anybody that knows anywhere in Bonny where they keep these people.
Okay. So it's unfortunate. People are having to treat themselves, take care of themselves, and there's no isolation center. The only major hospital in Bonny is the Bonny Zona Hospital. That is where the 10 or 12 bed holding center, as they call it, was renovated or created and handed over to the government, and nobody is allowed there for now. It's unfortunate. And we'll move on to our messages here. Thank you very much, Wilcox. But we'll move on to our messages here, and then we'll come over to the plight of the people as far as the lockdown is concerned in terms of the hunger pandemic, like you called it, which you've already talked about. It's really sad. It's still late night talk, looking at the situation on Bonny Island following the lockdown of that area. Of course, the whole thing was a national story. It went all the way to the National Assembly. We have Ugochi Ugo, who had sent me a message, a DM, some time ago regarding her health, and was in a panic mode, but later she said she was feeling better. Ugochi, if you're watching, what's going on in Bonny Island? She says the lockdown is very tough. We were not even given the chance to restock our supplies because the lockdown was unannounced late Saturday night and took effect on Sunday, 21st June. People are stranded. Feeding is a major problem. Getting drinking water too. Mr. Wilcox, what do you say to this?
Like we said earlier on, Kofi, I should have expected, taking into cognizance the difficult terrain of Bonny Island, okay, I should have expected the government to give a notice of shutdown or lockdown. At least a day. I mean, this was announced on a Saturday, yes, to take effect on a Sunday. How will the people restock? Even in Lagos, where they had the Epic Center, they gave them notice. People had to rush to the markets and all that to restock their houses. And then you're talking about a remote community such as Bonny that is almost off the radar of the other hinterland. Come on, I think the governor should, like I said earlier on, I'm for the lockdown. No, I'm not against the lockdown. I'm totally for the lockdown. Okay, but I also think that we should do this with human face. Give them some kind of allowance, even if it's a day or two, okay, to restock. And then you can shut them for, as long as you think their stock can carry. You free them a bit again, and you do the same thing again, honestly. Because people are hungry, Kofi. People are hungry. I know today alone I said I've received over 10 calls. People are hungry.
It's a very sad situation, my brother.
And if care is not taken, it will turn to a social unrest. So going into your neighbor's house to pack okay, whatever he has.
So I mean, the governor probably should have waited, or should have given some days' notice, to the people of Bonny Island to say, okay, in the next 3 days, next 2 days, next 4 days, in next 7 days, we're going to declare a lockdown. They had less than 24 hours to do this. Do you think that the governor should have done something different?
No, I truly think he should have done something different. I think they should have given some kind of notice, maybe 2 days notice, if you ask me. I think they should have given 2 days notice.
Would 2 days have been enough?
Come on, I mean, that's, for me, that is notice enough, if you ask me.
Okay.
It might not be adequate, but it could be enough. Okay. I mean, if the governor had announced on Saturday that this will take effect on Sunday, 11:45 or 11:55 on Monday evening, from Sunday to Monday, a lot of people will have been able to get prepared, restock, no matter how little. Bonny is a communal place where you have to call your brother back. Just borrow me 300 naira, 400 naira. It's a communal place.
We know how they do them.
We know how they do them, and that's the truth. I think if I were to advise him, I would advise His Excellency. Good, it was a beautiful thing you did. I will never criticize you for that. I think it was what they stressed, but I think you should give it a rethink by giving an allowance so that the people can, restock. Mm-hmm. And you go back to the lockdown. It's important that they restock. And if His Excellency is actually listening also, I know you've done the first one. You've been able to give palliative to the people initially. But please consider Bonny as a special case at this point. Bonny is an island where whatever they consume in Bonny is brought from Port Harcourt and other neighboring interland communities. And so at this point where there are no movement to Bonny and all that, the people will be stranded. So if you can, which I believe you can send more palliatives to the people. And I'm also calling on the federal government to do the same thing. Since this COVID-19 started, the federal government, all the money, I guess that was part of the Governor Wiki's annoyance. All the money that they're spending on other states is brought from these places. And yet, 5 kobo has not been brought to the people. It's not been brought to the people. So, this is palliative from the federal government to this is it. But you're making billions of naira on monthly basis since COVID-19 till date. I mean, come on, how do you expect the people to feel? I mean, Bonny life matters. if we're to go there.
Absolutely. So you're saying, first of all, River State Governor Nyesom Wike, please, now that a new lockdown has been declared in Bonny Island, we need another level of set of palliative measures for the people there.
Sure.
Don't say because you've done. Can you say that again, please? Because I want to put you on record.
Yes, I know he's done this before because I saw palliative being shared in Bonny. So I know he's done this. No matter how little, he's done something. But I will appeal to him again, considering the location and the terrain of Bonny, the difficulty the people face in terms of getting food stock. Like I said, all the food stock that is consumed in Bonny is brought from the hinterland. So it's important that he looks into the plight of the people and if he can bring more palliative to assist these people at this trying time, it will go a long way. Right now, I don't know how much a cup of Gary can go, Kofi. A cup of Gary can be gold at this point. It will go a long way if the governor can lead and help the people of Bonny with more palliative. And if the federal government is also listening, please, Bonny is still part of Nigeria. Bonny is not in Cameroon. It's still part of Nigeria. Whatever other places deserve to get, we in Bonny, we deserve to have that too, because of the level of contribution we have in the federal coffers.
All right. What's the population of Bonny Island?
Okay, I can't tell you that, but I can tell you we are up to 1.6.
Okay.
1.6.
They're about. We don't know how many we are in Nigeria to start with. But let's just say, by the last census, maybe about that.
There were about 1.6.
I think your call is very important, my brother, Mr. Wilcox, because right now we have a particular place that has been cordoned off as, in the governor's words, the epicenter of the coronavirus in River State. And we've had rampant...
If time is not taken.
Yeah. Since coronavirus began, this is the only area, or the first time, we've been able to say, okay, government has been identify a place as having a high incidence, and special to Bonny Island, like you're saying, special attention, which means that if the place has been locked down, government, what are you doing about the people there? How are they going to feel? It's an island to start with, which means that even for things to get there, like you said, they cost more. So I think your call is very apt. When lockdowns are declared, a lockdown is declared across the world, what happens is they now use the period to embark on serious testing and treatment. NCDC and every other person concerned with this, have you heard of rapid, aggressive, and widespread testing being done in Bonny since this lockdown was declared or began on Sunday?
No. I do not know if they have their plans, but so far I've not heard of any rapid or widespread testing done. If not, this is Bonny is not like Lagos or Port Harcourt, where it's hard to get this kind of things. You would know immediately.
Door to door testing, house to house testing, contact tracing.
Not so far. No. I guess that should have been the focus of this lockdown. In actual fact, this lockdown should have been to have the rapid testing done, to have the tracing done. But so far, we've not seen. All we see, is the law enforcement agency somewhat, enforcing the lockdown order strictly. That's all we see.
We saw
happens,
videos of people, someone being beaten and all that, torn shirts and all that.
Yes. So, but we want to also see the rapid testing on social media. We want to see the people, the tracing of the people from house to house, from door to door. We want to see stuff like that. We have professionals in Bonny that can assist them. We have professionals in Bonny. We have people that are willing to assist them. So let the lockdown not just be for the purpose of locking down, but let it be for the purpose of tracing and rapid testing and taking into treatment those that have been confirmed.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's read some more messages here. I think I've read Oguchi's message on Twitter, where she says people are stranded. Feeding is a major problem. Getting drinking water too. Let's go over to Facebook. My guest tonight is a former youth leader of Bonny local government area and also a lawyer, Mr. Simeon Wilcox, who's joining us today to look at what's going on Bonny Island, which has been declared a coronavirus epicenter of sorts by the governor, and it's on lockdown, has been on lockdown since Sunday. On Facebook, we have the following messages coming in. And if you're watching, please share this post so that those on your timeline can also get it as well. If you're on Facebook, thank you very much for joining us. Share the post. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe to the channel, share the post as well, the live stream. On Twitter, please retweet, press the notification button on Facebook and YouTube so that you get notified each time we go live. Good news, Alex Oam says it's of no need. The lockdown is of no need. Ikenna. Okay, so good news says the lockdown is of no need. Wilcox, you think that this whole thing could have been handled without necessarily having a lockdown?
I disagree with him. Looking from the point of leadership, I know how difficult it's not just in Bonny, how difficult it is in Nigeria as a whole for the black man to come to terms with the actual nature and the true existence of coronavirus. A lot of people are living in denial.
Yeah.
Okay, so sometimes to be able to enforce this, to make this, you need to do something very drastic. And I think this is one of those drastic measures. So for me, I think it is very necessary.
Okay. Another message here. This is sent in by, Iken Ogbehu. Okay. Thank you very much for your message. Eddie Wanko, thank you very much. Wilcox Lady Barry Sonny, thank you very much. Roland Ukot A. Free Tom, thank you very much. Okay. Boma Gabriel Brown says the deaths in Bonny are related to a lot of challenges, which are also factors responsible for the deaths other than COVID-19. So he's agreeing with you that there are other challenges that are responsible for the deaths in Bonny Island apart from COVID-19, which is something I think, based on what you've said, Mr. Wilcox, and Boma here also on Facebook, we need to follow up with the government. Otherwise, we might forget about it after COVID-19 passes. Boma Gabriel Brown says some is carelessness from health officers. Health officers are also careless as well. He says some are as a result of pollution. Okay. Eddie Wanko says, while the federal government also set up an investigative panel when the local government and state governments have investigated, what we should be talking about now is findings of those panels and asking for help where the solution is beyond the state and local government. Okay. Let's see. Boma is back. He says the EIA report shows that the people of Bonny will have the following illnesses: constant malaria, high blood pressure, arthritis,